Welcome to our UBC program Home Care. Today we are looking at COVID-19 lockdown and how has gender-based violence affected us in our homes. I am Sama Lukwago, and today I am humbled to host Honorable Miria Matembe, the former Minister for Ethics and Integrity and Executive Director for Uganet, Miss Dora Chichoncho. However, today we are going to zero down at gender-based violence. On my right, I have Honorable Miria Matembe, and on my left, I have Miss Dora Chichoncho. Yes, let me start with Miss Dora Chichoncho. Miss Dora, you're most welcome on our home care program.
Thank you very much, and thank you so much for hosting us.
Honorable, you're most welcome on our home care program.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad to host you. You said you are hosting me, but this is my home. I'm also glad to host you. You are welcome to this program.
Thank you so much. Today we are looking at gender-based violence in COVID-19 lockdown. Gladly, I would love to share the experiences of Miss Dora first. Let me start with you, Miss Dora. What has been your experience during this COVID-19 lockdown?
This lockdown has been particularly emotional to the extent that we see how COVID has ravaged our community. It's been pain after pain, loss after loss, friends, colleagues, workmates, leaders of this country. And it's been really, really sad watching the times that most of us are going through. I would like to start by sharing my solidarity with each and every family that has experienced illness, fear, loss, grief, because unlike the first lockdown where the COVID was in small pockets, it's been widely in community and we have seen its devastation. And it has not only been devastation in just the disease, but also the mental health, the violence that we are going to discuss shortly. It's been many things. We hope that this the wave moves quickly and we return a little bit to normalcy, but I know it's been challenged. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Back to you, Honorable. What have you experienced during this COVID-19 lockdown?
Thank you very much. I don't think I am different from Dora, because of course the first lockdown was bad, but not many deaths, and I don't remember having lost personal relative or close friend in the first lockdown. It gave me an opportunity actually to really concentrate with my God and read my Bible and learn more and that kind of thing. But this lockdown is very bad. It's very bad. You know, we were already coming out of a lockdown where we were so poor, and then we thought things are going to start moving, and then we go back. So economically, socially, physically, everything has been bad in this lockdown. I've lost almost every time. I've been losing relatives, close, like I lost my cousin in Morova in America, California. I had to bury her on Zoom, and actually I lost so far 3 cousins, and then we lost a fellowship. We are fellowship members. We lost one here, and Tozi's daughter, just exactly 1 month after burying. Right now, Fere Mawori, Honorable Wori is gone. Oh my God. And why things are so bad? I have lost somebody I pray with, Honorable Beatrice, lost a mother just a few minutes, lost a son. It has been devastating to me. And what hurts me most is that I cannot be there physically to maintain emotional, support. When people die and you are there, And I lost, the person I lost first was my uncle. except that one I ran there, and Uncle Kazora, Benjamin, I went there and saw them and came back quickly. But these others, like if I can't imagine Thelma, what I can't see, and the executive director of SEDU, where I'm the chairperson of the board, lost a father. I don't know whether they are charity. I mean, the thing has been bad, and this means money. You are not there to be with people physically, but you need to also give some money. But now the money, the small money is run out, and these people have been in hospitals. These are the people who've been paying 42 million, 19 million for oxygen. Oh my God.
I think has been costly in general. And would you send our condolences to those families that lost their beloved ones? RIP. Now, today I'm
But at the same time, I want to thank God who is sustaining some of us. The fact that we are here, you and me, and those listening to us are there, we thank God that we are there. And I want to give comfort to everybody who is devastated that this COVID lockdown should actually teach us that we are not in charge of our lives, and we should commit ourselves to God to make him our rock, our refuge, and our fortress, and to repent, because time is now. If we can't repent now, I don't know when we can repent.
Thank you so much for that advice, Honorable. First of all, let me start with you, Miss Chichoncho. What is gender-based violence?
Gender-based violence is given many names. It is given domestic violence, it is given intimate partner violence, it is violence against women. But it is really describing the situation in which some people use their power over others. And usually it has been men using their power over women. Most times, not to say that there are not many women who are violent, but the majority of the violence comes from the men, and this is an issue of science and statistics, that mainly women, because they are less powerless and men are more powerful, they use their power over women. Gender-based violence, it is an issue that is socially accepted. That is why you hear that if a woman is beaten or abused, it is not a story. It only becomes a story when it is the other way round. So it is a way society has perceived issues of powerlessness and power, and it is socially accepted, it is a norm. That is why it takes leaders as you to actually recognize it as an issue, because many times it goes unrecognized because it is okay and it is normal. But it is very, very unacceptable, it is not normal that one gender is asserting their power over another gender, because it is coming with very, very serious consequences. Gender-based violence takes different forms. It takes forms of physical violence, and that is where the beating comes in. It takes form of economic violence, where one gender is deprived the means of money and control of resources. It takes the form of emotional violence, where a person is verbally abused. You're not beating them, but you're doing things to really put them in a corner. To torture them. And that is also another form of violence, emotional violence. Then there is sexual violence, where actually you are torturing a person sexually, and that also is a form of violence. That is, the brief way I can describe gender-based violence. When you read about it, they can give different names like I have mentioned, but they are all leading to the same meaning. When we say violence against women, is because actually there is this school of thought that wants to name it for what it is, that the violated are the women and the girls. Gender is more accepting because it is for everybody, both men and women, because gender means both men and women. It wants to really give an overarching view because there is also that school of thought which believes that women are violent. But the statistics, the science, the data has indicated that it is men and boys that have violated women and girls. And these statistics, for example, the usual statistics has been that Uganda, our level of violence against women is 56%. Violence of men over women. Recently, the police report looked at the last lockdown, and the statistics of police were that this violence of men against women increased by 16%. So it is what really the data and the science has indicated, that it is women violated by men most times, and this comes with all these serious consequences.
As you, the executive director from Uganet, have you tried to front it, prevention?
Okay, so yes, our organization exists among others to really address the gender-based violence, because as I've shown you, it is an issue of power, the powerful and the powerless, and it's the broader issue of gender inequality. So we try to address the whole picture of, making a gender equal world, where women also have some power, where women are also empowered. And when they are empowered, the violence kind of reduces. So we are engaged in programs that do two things: prevent it before it happens. We go to communities and really mobilize community-driven approaches that are sensitive to the issues of a culture, of a particular setting. For example, as we speak now, we are running a big program in Kasese, the entire district, a big program in Bundibujo, the entire district, and also Tororo. And before we went to these three, we had been in Palisa and in Tungamo district. Why? It takes communities to really come together and say enough is enough. We are better off harnessing the good that is in men and the good that is in women. So that is prevention. But in response, we do so much. We respond. My training is a lawyer, and my colleagues together as Uganet, we have legal aid programs for women and girls facing violence. And in the last lockdown in particular, it became so bad that we even had to put a special home to make women get rescued from their homes into this home where they can get some comfort and some rescue. Whereas we were drumming the drum, stay home and stay safe, stay home and stay safe. It was opposite for women. You imagine girls are not safe in homes.
Back to you, Honorable. What do you have to say about gender-based violence?
She has defined it for you, but for me, I put it in this simple term. It is an issue of power relations, and it is an issue of marginalization of women. The whole question of inequality and disempowerment of the woman. What causes this gender-based violence? Actually, for me, I call it like what we are discussing today. Since we are in home care, it is about domestic violence. Why is there domestic violence? What causes domestic violence is the issue of the power relations. The men are treated as the powerful. The women are nothing. They are regarded as property, as part of the property of men. When you are beating your dog or the cow or the goat, you put in what? Women. And it is culturally accepted. Culturally accepted. That's why you see people like Miria, Matembe, all their lives, their God purpose in life is to fight for gender equality and women's empowerment, where the woman is looked at as a human being in her own equal right. And until we reach a stage which God had wanted, you remember God created a man from the mud, clay. She saw this man was helpless and he needed help. And so he went and created a woman, moreover from a rib, more tougher as a helper. Where did she come from? The side of the man. And its rightful purpose, what God wanted, was that a man and a woman must exist side by side together to be able to discharge the responsibility which God had wanted them to discharge. As to why and who brought this woman from the rightful position and put her down on the toe to be kicked down and be pushed around and be treated like a non-nobody, is the reason why there is gender-based violence. And so, until a woman is treated as a full human being in her own right, a cause which I have fought for all my life, and I started as a child because at 9 years I could see that we were not treated as equal. No equal opportunities for girls.
Yes.
You know, as long as girls are not given equal opportunities as boy children, in education, in employment, in everything, they will remain powerless. They are not equal, they are not powerful. So in order to fight gender-based violence, you have got to empower a girl child through education and economic empowerment. That's why you see, like a woman like Miria Matembe, you can't just beat me and kick me around like that. Because I'm educated, I have the confidence, I have the economic power, and I have the knowledge and the will to fight. But I will tell you that these other women also, education alone, formal education alone, without instilling in you the fact that you are a human being and should be treated so, cannot protect you from being beaten and chased around until you are liberated mentally and you are able to see that I'm also a human being and you assert yourself.
Yes.
Because gender-based violence is gender inequality and disempowerment of women is promoted by our culture, religious misinterpretation, our laws, and poverty among women. There are those factors that really cause a woman to be inferior, and they deny her from utilizing her potential, her talents and ability to be also as a full human being.
We've seen it happening during this COVID-19. The cases rise each and every day. Would love to know what are the causes, what has caused gender-based violence during this period to see the cases that rise each and every day.
So in the women's world, really, we have taken the position that the situations we see every day rise is how we are putting on a mask. And COVID has only unmasked what has always been there. COVID has created a condition of, seeing what is not always been seen. Because maybe when women have where to run from and can go in the market and stay there the whole time, you probably will not see what happens at night when a woman is alone. Sure. When girls are at school and they are there very far, you cannot see the situation of what girls go through in their homes. But because they are being forced to stay in the same place and in the same environment with nowhere to run to, that is why we are seeing every day the heat is getting higher of the cases that are, if I had my phone and I read to you, every other day there is a call for support. There is one which really disturbed me yesterday. She said, can I get help to go and get a CT scan? My head has been beaten, pounded, beaten, and I just got this issue of somebody hitting someone's head time and again, and I'm like, oh God, what an unfortunate situation women and girls find themselves into. So I think lockdown only makes the situation tough because people are stuck in the same environment, but these are situations that women have endured. The harassment girls have endured for a very long time. It is just that lockdown makes us hear more and see them for what they are. That is all I can explain why the numbers continue to rise in lockdown. It was such a shame in the last lockdown where you saw that we actually got these cases reported in every media house. We tried to get a scrapbook and we put all these stories together. We counted, just roughly counting, we got to about 10,000 cases of early marriage, child defilement. And then when we tried to really make sense of it, these were like 3 universities. Well, like imagine one university has 3,000 children. Now this 10,000 is like 3 huge universities. The future of young girls curtailed and cut short just because of a 5-month lockdown, a 6-month lockdown. And it is going to happen again. And then what challenges me the most is when we are talking about the impact and where we should really focus to rebuild. I have not had serious programs that looks at such a huge population to say, what do we do to give life again and a future to the girls whose future was cut short? Yes. What about the women that are nursing such serious wounds? A person who needs to go to CT scan, not that they fell on a border, not that a thief came and attacked a home, a lover, a mother of your children. You are the one putting them into that.
A fellow partner.
A partner, putting them through that pain. So these are the tales of lockdown that probably are not getting the picture that they deserve. But most homes are going through this silent epidemic. It is a crisis for women and girls. And our appeal, why we are doing this, why we really want to talk to you, is that governments can really see this as a real crisis. Whoever is planning around COVID, we want them to also see the crisis that is happening in homes. I know that we are planning economically, we are planning medically, but we are also asking that there should be a clear plan that is going to elevate the situation of a home. A domestic setting has become a battlefield, and we see little recognition and acknowledgement that is what is happening is intense and needs to be, something needs to happen.
What are the effects that affect families and homes?
Actually, for me, now that you are here, I want she has given the reason why. This COVID lockdown has revealed what we have been telling the world about what happens to women. For me, actually, one of the things I have suffered during this COVID lockdown, together with this Uganet, is I don't rest. I have to run. I have to go somewhere. I'm suffering. They beaten me. And what I want to emphasize right now and tell these people listening to us, we may be here and we are looking, all of us hate and fear COVID-19, because it is killing us, killing our relatives, killing our friends and colleagues. But I want to tell you that COVID is having another type of death, yes, which many of us may not realize or may not know. But this is the defilement, the sexual abuse and pregnancy of girl children. The girl children in this COVID thing, lockdown, has really suffered. And that is one of the aspects of gender-based violence. And that is the one which is mainly disturbing us. And we want to tell the people listening to us there that families have been shattered, emotionally shattered, physically wounded, with their girl children raped, defiled, and impregnated by, can you imagine, cousins,
by relatives,
uncles, and at some time, fathers and brothers. I tell you, with Uganet here, we have received such painful, emotional cases trying to cancel them, involving, can you imagine, Sheikh. One of the case, the Sheikh sexually abused the 3 daughters. Imagine, it is not only the reverends or the pastors that are abusing and sexually abusing women and girls, but also the sheikhs. We could say that these people who are drunkos, the uncles and what, are the ones abusing, sexually abusing these girls. But can you imagine a sheikh don't drink, the pastors don't drink, but because they are in a position of advantage of power and authority, and they are sexually abusing and impregnating these daughters, and the daughters have nowhere to be. They can't go home. The thing is killing me.
Let's go for a short break. As we return, we are still looking at the gaucho during COVID-19 lockdown. Welcome back from the short break. I am Salma Lukwago, and on my right I still have Honorable Miria Matembe, and on my left I have the Executive Director for Uganet, Miss Dora Chichoncho. Back to Miss Dora Chichoncho. Let's continue looking at the girl child, as Honorable Miria Matembe was proving to us that the biggest percentage that is being tortured are girls. However, on the other side, we've seen cases of also boys complaining that they are left out.
Yes, the case of men being left out. I mentioned earlier that there are pockets of men that are reporting the violence. And I think our viewer out there is asking, what about the men? What about the boy child? Don't they go through this kind of suffering? I mentioned earlier that the actual science and the statistics that are being reported every day are a big answer to this question. For example, in July 2020, just a few months ago, 1 year back, Kitgum reported 2,300 school girls conceived in only one district of Kitgum, 2,000. In one district of Moroto, 6,000 cases of teenage pregnancies. These girls are pregnant by boys or men. You see, but the impact, the devastation is in the 6,000 girls, the 2,300 girls. Look at what Pakwach Health Center in April to June 2020 recorded, that 23% of all the antenatal visits were for girls between the age of 15 to 19. You see, so that shows you that, yes, girls, rather boys and men, could be having their issue, but the hugest burden, the deepest suffering, the devastation is in girls and in young women. These numbers are too high to be ignored. These numbers are too high to actually want to create it an issue of competition. It is totally outweighed. The impact is outweighed, not even measurable, not even put on the same scale when you want to look at the issue of boys and girls, men and women. But in this whole conversation of domestic violence or gender-based violence, it takes two. It takes two to get into this dire situation we are in. It will still take two, men and women, to get out of it. Because until men use their power positively, then can we get out of this situation? Until boys are cultured, socialized to do things differently, then will we get out of this situation. So this conversation is not to belittle men or to say that they are totally useless in what we are talking about, only talk about them when we are pinpointing. No, we are calling upon everyone to take responsibility. If it's an issue of power balance, men are here and women are here, it takes both of them to get an issue of being balanced, and then we start to get better. We've been advocating for positive masculinity. You can be a man with positive values who really knows that this is your daughter and this is your child, and you be part of this fight Add your voice to what we are talking about. You will have become a champion. You will inspire 10 men to do the same. And slowly by slowly, we shall get out of this situation.
You know, one of the things that has happened during COVID-19 lockdown, and what has increased the sexual abuse of the young people is not going out to school. I mean, these children are in the home alone and they are doing nothing. You see, when they are in schools, they are very busy there at their schools, and these men are busy at their work, and the girls, now like this, what is causing this sexual abuse, even including the brothers and cousins, they are there on what? On, what do you call it? The computer. They get all the time on the computer.
Social media.
They're on social media, and they are going on pornography, and they are saying what is going on.
So
and
they also want to practice.
All these things are doing what? Are promoting this kind of relationship. And then if the lockdown, for instance, you find that like this lockdown, which they did recently, they didn't give us what is it called? Notes. They just said from tomorrow lockdown. And if the uncles who have bad manners and they drink, they've been visiting here, would I chase them away? I wouldn't chase them away. And for them, also some of them, depending on how they were brought up and so on, and you know the way African culture trusts. And this is one thing I want to tell people who are listening to me. Those families which are shattered, whose children are raped and they are pregnant. You can imagine being pregnanted by your cousin or by your
Father.
Yes. It is more devastating. It is so emotionally shattering. You will remain in a lockdown forever, even if COVID goes, because of the mental what is happening. So I want to tell the people listening to us to know that actually male relatives are very dangerous. You allow me, people say I hate men. But the other day I was telling somebody, how can I hate men when I'm one person in a family of 5 men, because I have 4 sons and 1 man. That means I love men. But I don't love what they do when they become animals. I'm not aware of a woman who has raped a son, who has, impregnated anybody. Because when we are talking of this now, domestic violence, especially sexual abuse, don't bring in what about men? Because which woman has raped any man, or which girl has impregnated any boy?
Women beat men honorable.
I'm now not on beating. You know what my concern is now, right now? We are debating gender-based violence, but the whole issue of the girl child, which I want to bring to the attention of everybody listening to me, the impact of gender-based violence on the girl child is so bad. It's so bad. The boy makes you pregnant. Okay. They get emotional also, they get scared. The whole issue of getting a baby, it shakes them.
The responsibility.
And they run away from that and abandon these girls. But these girls, the emotional devastating impact on these girls is very shattering. It shatters their future. It destroys their future dreams. Some of them are rejected by parents. You know, our culture, when a girl gets pregnant, she's no longer valuable. First of all, they were taking them to school, struggling to take them to school because we are saying, please, equality. Now that she's even pregnant, that is the cause for why the parents would remove her from school. She's rejected. Some of them are chased to go to live with their grandmothers. Yes. That means their future ends there. And some of these children, because they are young people, when it comes to giving birth, many of them die in childbirth because their age is not yet to produce. So many of them, they die. In fact, when you look at statistics, yes, you find that those who have maternal death, you find the young girls between 13 and 19 are the most ones who die in childbearing. Then, of course, the other impact is some of them, even though they try to deliver, they get fistula. You know fistula?
Yes, fistula.
Which is so bad. I'm telling you, Banange, these things on the young girls, I wish I could be having like a big position where I can really handle this matter and save the children of Uganda, the girl child of Uganda. If the girl child of Uganda is damaged like that, where is the nation going? And you know very well, until the woman is valued, until the value of the woman in this country is known, so that the girl child can be valued and supported, we shall not have any nation. And then, of course, the other one is the increased risk of getting sexual, what are they called? The
Sexual
transmitted diseases, especially HIV, AIDS. And of course, I've talked about the loss of education, because the parents see them as not so useful to continue with the school.
Okay.
So the impact is so much on these girls. And what I had told you, as we see right now, we don't see the government's action. We don't see. The government is simply continued to marginalize women and the girl child. For me, these women run to me. I think I have authority to speak like that, because I don't rest. Like today, I think I received 3 calls. And at times when I call Uganet and Uganet is not there, I get stranded. The other, I drive there to see what is happening to these girls. And oh my God. So I want this government, really, this government, right now during COVID lockdown, to come out as part of the task force. Either they put there a desk or a person within the task force, yes, and tell us, these children, the girls who are being raped, the girls who are pregnant, the girls who don't know, who are embarrassed, who are ashamed. I mean, they see you. Have you ever seen a 12-year child pregnant? And you for me, I don't. These things make me too emotional, because that is my battle in life, to save the girl child and the women. And then these members of parliament also, I don't know where they are. The other day you've been hearing me fighting a battle of Matembe, taking away that
the lady's kid.
The lady's kid of 10 years. And I said, no, Matembe, the man, the way I hear he is, he's going to defile this girl. And I knew he would do it. Now, I haven't secured the girl. I got the lawyers. We are in the process of handling the matter. Very soon we shall get this girl to the mother. But now that's when I say, but where is this government in this matter? And unless it comes out, you cannot, the children, the people, the family, we have got to have a specific plan on the family. One thing I thank COVID for, but then I wonder about our government, yes, is that COVID, when something happens to you, it opens your eyes. Something which you didn't expect, something you didn't know, it opens your eyes. Yes. And when it opens your eyes, you must stop doing business as usual. What is shattering us, like we and in the Uganet when we are suffering, we see the government of Uganda behaves as if COVID has not been. They say, okay, we shall give you food. Okay, come here and get the vaccine. But what are you doing on the impact of COVID-19 itself? And to make sure that your budget, your priorities, how are you restructuring your priorities to meet or mitigate the impact of COVID-19, yes, onto the girls and the women in this country?
Thank you so much, Honorable. We are still looking at our home care program, and we're looking at the girl child, majorly, basically looking at the gender-based violence. What should we do as we women in this period to prevent it?
How can the powerless
Honorable.
No, what Honorable is saying.
I am speaking now to the executive director, okay, for Uganet. How are we supposed to prevent it?
The women.
People are suffering, women are crying out, men have so many cases. They don't have answers to the questions, actually to the problems that they're facing right now.
So indeed, like Honorable was saying, it is going to take all of us. It is not going to remain a woman's duty, a girl's duty, to be able to prevent this violence. They are the less powerful. So they will probably remain hiding under the beds, because when someone is coming, I wish I could read you the message on my phone. The woman was telling me, I am so scared. I told her, please go out to the police and report and send me the reference number. Once I have the reference number, she said, I'm so scared. This man is not leaving. I don't know where if he gets me going to the police, I am so scared. So she said scare in the message twice, and I could really see the scare that was upon her. So women are in a position of fear.
True.
Yes, and then those who are not in a position of fear, it is also going to boil out. And they will start fighting. That's how you see the videos that go around, and actually women are beating men. There is also a documented study which have said that many times the women who have come out to fight is because they have been tortured, that they reach a point and they are like, let us kill each other. And that is very bad for a nation. That is very bad for the innocent children of that home. It is very bad for the men. Believe me, a man who is in a violent home will also not be a happy man. Sure. Even when they go out and work, they will not have the same recompense for their time. The money they spend as a family in hospitals is income lost from that family, many times from a man's pocket. So for us to be able to prevent this situation we are talking about, since we have seen the root cause being power imbalance, power relations, we are calling upon the powerful in a family setting is usually a man. And that is why the appeal is to the male figure, the man in the home, to change tactics and actually realize that a happy home is a good thing. It will work better for him. He will have more sleep if he tries to reduce on the way they use the power. That is in the issue of violence caused by men. Then there is an issue of the younger boys. Actually, most of the pregnancies in the younger girls is also caused also by the younger boys, the relationships in the younger boys. This is to appeal to the general household, both the parents, to ensure that there is probably support to the younger girls and to the younger boys. But it's also an appeal to government that let them engage everyone. Yes, we are in COVID and we are not moving, but there is a way communities have kept on engaging. I think there is a big role by all gatekeepers of our community, the LCs, the church, religious leaders, could use their microphone right now, wherever they are, to preach against these things, whether it is in a mosque, whether it is in a church. Let religious leaders have a role to drum the drum against these cases that we are seeing every day. We know that police is out there. Police has put a helpline to call, but we ask the leadership of police. Sometimes we see that the issue of police is left to the Child and Family Protection Unit. We are calling upon the big generals to also come, the way we see they have viciously taken on the big battles of this country, to come and be the champions and also challenge their system and work with communities to curb the rising levels of violence against women and girls.
Thank you so much. Back to you, Honorable. We are seeing gender-based violence has been in existence and it is still existing. What message do you have for the parents who are actually having children and are practicing gender-based violence?
You know, for me, I told you that once a situation happens like this COVID, what has been hidden behind has now come out. And since it has come out, we should find ways of dealing with it. I mean, we've been shouting about it, and people think they are the Matembe who shout. But now everybody has seen that actually gender-based violence which ends into sexual abuse of young people, making them pregnant and killing the future of the mothers of this nation, and killing the homes. Everybody, first of all, the parents themselves. Me, the advice I give to the parents is, can they go back to the Lord? Because I am telling you, this country's problem is because of high morals, of decadence, and eco-value degeneration. I don't know what has invaded our country. Corruption, morals, eco-value degeneration, moral decadence, all these things have happened, and no one, even COVID, is killing us. And so for me, my appeal to everybody out there, please let us go to our God. Let's return to our God. And as Chichoncho was saying, what are these reverends and pastors and all these people preaching? I have seen them, every reverend, every bishop, they say, please COVID, please wear a mask, please wash your hands. But we are telling them those who wash their hands are dying in their homes, not of COVID, but
violence.
But of violence. Yes. Therefore, I want every Ugandan hearing us today, and I want them to believe us. Yes. Because for me, Miria, and what kills me, like now, if I showed you the picture of a woman who has been married for the last 23 years with this man, and the man during COVID, he was able, because the woman had taken the case to court. During COVID, the man came and, since there is lockdown, he came and beat that woman thoroughly. Yes. And when the woman went to police, the police, of course, the man goes there and pays them. Many men go and pay the police, they pay the welfare woman who is in charge of whatever, and the case ends there. And so that's why some of us are suffering and are coming out to appeal to every person. I'm appealing to every parent, every Ugandan parent, and even those who are not parents yet, to come in and reveal, show out to these cases of violence, bring them out. Don't keep quiet, because the last COVID lockdown, you would see the two families are fighting and the other people are watching, to show the high level of moral decadence. I'm appealing to Ugandans, please, to those who are raping, to those who, please return to the Lord. And then to other Ugandans, please remember to be like we used to be. Yes. Be a keeper of your brother and sister. Don't be like Cain, who said, am I the brother, the keeper of my brother? We are supposed to love our neighbors. We are supposed to love one another. Come out and report. Come out and help. Come out to, and do something to help these women. And as for the government, I think I'm ending. I want to tell our government that a stable nation depends on stable families. Yes. And I want to tell our government that this COVID lockdown has helped us to review the level of breakdown within our societies, within our families. And now COVID-19 lockdown has put emotional woundedness, physical woundedness, and emotional shatteredness. So the families are shattered. They are wounded. They need to be rebuilt. And if these families are not rebuilt, Uganda is wasting time saying that they are developing. Whom are you developing unless you are developing human beings? And these human beings are being reared in families. Yes. I want the government of Uganda, for now, for the first time at least, to reprioritize its expenditure, its budget, and put a strategy in place and focus on the family. How can the government of Uganda, having learned from COVID and COVID lockdown, rebuild the families, to make them those families which will come out with people of integrity, with children who have morals, to make a stable nation. That's my appeal to them, to the government.
Thank you so much, Honorable. But one more last question for me, Honorable. There is something I would love to hear from you about people practicing self-medication. Since we are in COVID-19, what do you have to say about?
Self-medication, are they just like, do they like it or they are forced into it? They are forced into it. I mean, if we hear that those who go to the hospital, there is no oxygen, they have to buy cylinders at 19 million, 40 million, and these are people who don't even have a million at all, and then they are told, by the way, when oxygen is not there, the body is in Mulago. In every hospital, they see bodies. Why should I go there to be a body when I'm told that you go to pharmacy, you buy zinc, you get what D, vitamin D, then vitamin C, and now I'm glad to hear that there is this Covidex, because if I'm going to advertise it, because I have met a number of people who have cured, who were even on oxygen, who told me that, Munang, for me, if it was not for that Covidex thing, I was gone. I was gone. Now that the Covidex is there, I would like to appeal to everybody who can find it. In fact, me, I'm taking it. Who can find it? For prevention.
Yes.
It has a dosage for prevention.
Yes.
I'm appealing to everybody who can. I'm thanking that Dr. Ogwang that is really working for us. And I'm appealing to everybody, get that Covidex, get this, what is this thing?
The concoctions.
Dawa tea for us. Every day we drink a flask of dawa tea, we eat fruits, we eat vegetables. I think you've seen our spinach there,
yes,
and whatever. So we eat that and we do that. So if we can do that, if I get cough and I can do that and it goes, why should I go to the hospital where I can't buy the thing, the cylinder, and many have died. I have our friend here, the daughter of Professor Antozi, my prayer mate, who went to the hospital. She was on oxygen, and when she reached 90, I understand, they said remove that one and put other people who are worse. They removed her and she died. What is that?
RIP. Thank you so much, Honorable. Back to you as we are ending, Miss Dora Chichoncho. What is your last message to the viewers right now?
I want to associate myself with what Honorable has said in calling government to really do business unusually, to really consider this as a crisis in the domestic setting, to, yes, after they have dealt with what is eminently before them, the oxygen and the hunger and everything, they should really plan differently to deal with the trauma that is going on right now in homes. Beyond domestic violence, the 2,000 homes that have lost their loved ones have not had even any time to grieve and even go over it. The ones who are in home, we know that there are more patients in homes than they are in hospitals. That already is trauma, and the fear of death is looming. Then we are adding an extra issue of violence and what it is doing to how it's ravaging a home. Then there is obvious issues of hunger. So really issues that are going to need a rebuilding of our community after this thing is done, and even when we are still in it, is going to take more than the task force has focused on. And we are asking that that becomes a core. But right now, as we are in the struggle, and there are cases of girls who are suffering in your community, our watchers, kindly reach out to Uganet. We are going to provide a number which you can call. It's a call center, it's toll-free, and there are counselors who will counsel, and if you need legal help, there is a lawyer you can talk to, and if you need to be evacuated to a safe home outside where you are, please call. We will be able to take you to the safe home and for your wellness. If it is not in the city, we have other counterparts, Action Aid and Mifumi and other NGOs that are providing safety in other districts. Kindly call that number and somebody will be able to pick you up such that we can try to mitigate a little bit the pressure and the tension that is happening right now in homes.
Thank you so much. That has been the Executive Director for Uganet, Miss Dora Chichoncho. And of course, we've had Honorable Miria Matembe, the former Minister for Ethics and Integrity. Those who have watched, I know some of you, you've gotten some of the answers to the questions of what you're going through right now. This is Home Care Program UBC. But to all Ugandans, let's also know to gender-based violence to make our home happy. So most of you right now who are watching, I would love to actually give you this last message. Remember that you have to stay home and stay safe. However, say no to gender-based violence. I am Salma Lukwago. Till next time, let me wish you a great time. Bye-bye.